Hello, hello. Good start. Good start. First, cough everything out and then start talking maybe next time. Yeah, time to stream. A little bit spontaneous, but I need to get stuff done, and I thought I'd show you what I'll do today. And we will have a coloring stream again. You guys always want to see how I color. It's kind of every time I ask you what you would like to see, it's always coloring. Show me colors. So yeah, let's do that again. It's maybe the most magic part of my process anyway, so maybe that's the reason. So I guess it's the most difficult to explain part, maybe, because I mean drawing outlines is just drawing lines, right? But finding the right colors is not so obvious. Serious, nice to see you, man. You're streaming at the moment, so yeah. So are you kind of streaming while watching me? This is an interesting meta thing to do, streaming. I mean, there's these reaction videos, right? Which are quite popular because I mean, I feel like I'm a little bit too old for those, but I always see those on TikTok and YouTube. And maybe you can make a reaction video to my stream or so. I guess I would have to become a bit more famous until people start making reaction videos. So let's stay hydrated. I got some freshly carbonated water here. No beer so far, but later I'm pretty sure I will have 1 or 2 beers later because my football club is playing a match and I'm going to meet with a friend and watch it. And we'll perhaps have a beer while doing that. But still, cheers. Okay, so yeah, as you see here, this is what I did yesterday in the evening. So I watched, I started watching the last episode, no, the last season of Better Call Saul yesterday. And I, while watching it, I took my iPad and just randomly, not really randomly, but kind of intuitively put down some colors. And this is what I did. And today in the morning, I thought like, hey, I should just show you guys what I do here instead of doing it alone in my quiet room. Yeah, and as you see, I was aiming for nice kind of blue gold contrast. This is once again a nice cold and warm contrast, color contrast that I started doing here. And it's the complexity or the difficulty here for this piece is really that it is so detailed and that it has quite a flat layout. So in the outlines here, the outline version, you see that there's not so much depth, actually only really here in this, only really in this area here where you can see a bit far beyond. But apart from that, it's all kind of all this here is kind of on one level. And the job the colors have to do here is to structure everything very much and to give it like some kind of order, because that's what colors can do and that's what colors like to do as well if you handle them right, is structuring an image in a way that while this looks really complex, the colored one can look, if you wanted to have it like that, can look very tidied up. And I want to try to achieve this effect here a little bit at least, because I don't want the final version to be so super messy and super complex looking, you know? So that's, yeah, and I think, I mean, usually I just start my palettes with purple, but in this case I didn't really like the purple so far. Maybe I'm going to switch back later on, but I kind of like, because we have these machinery and we have these wheels and everything like a bit metal looking down here. I thought a nice blue could be great combined with a shiny kind of, I'm missing the word, expensive, no, like the gold, to make it look, I'm missing the word, I don't care, you know, I want to create this contrast between this machinery, this blue, and the gold parts that look kind of, the word that I'm missing. It's Friday, please forgive me. My brain has suffered from a hard week of work. let me just quickly look up a dictionary. Noble, yes, I want to have it kind of noble or so. Maybe that is the right word. So, no, purple. Yeah, luxurious is also a good word. That's right. Yeah, luxurious is probably, yeah, is good, but it's it still has this kind of, I mean, it's overgrown with these plants, and it should have a more kind of natural look as well. Natural in terms of not too clean or so. Like it's not like gold in terms of, or gold like a golden ring or necklace or something, like not luxurious, but more I want it to look like old, but still, man, I'm so bad with speaking English today, but I don't have any meeting or so. I'm missing one word. Elevated is good. I think elevated kind of, it doesn't have such a bling bling, but it looks elevated. I don't know, let's go with that. Regal, yeah, the regal is also quite good. Yeah, that's also a good word. So, but with all these things in here, the difficulty and the challenge is to kind of not give it this one boring blue gold contrast, because I think that would be a bit too plain. So what I want to try here, and that's what we can do together today, is finding a palette that is interesting and vibrant, but lives from this golden blue contrast. So that's probably my goal for today. So then, for example, I have these roots here, the tree, and this has kind of, this is a brown, red, rusty red-ish thing that's originating in more kind of really pink color, because I want to stay in the area of the orange gold here. So if I go probably more to this bluish thing, I'm not sure if it fits so well in, but we'll see that. We'll do some experiments there. Let's see. It could work, but I'm not sure. I like this better. It looks more like wood, like brown. I mean, roots are usually not even really brown, right? So that's the children's book version of trees or roots or stuff like that is usually brown. But if you look around and look at trees, they are usually not really brown. They're usually kind of green, gray. They're often really gray actually, but that doesn't look nice in in an illustration. But if you make a tree brown, it just looks like out of a children's book. So I mean, if I can show you, if we just go The obvious choice, I mean, we have the gold here, and the obvious choice would just be, I mean, brown is in fact just a darker version of a very orange like gold. And if we take this, okay, that looks muddy as hell, but this instantly looks like kind of children's book tree, to me at least. I mean, or root. While this one here is more has more character. But I'm not sure if it's this kind of, or maybe something like that. Yeah. And finding the palette in this, in such an illustration is really, for me, it is not so easy because you have so many elements you have to pay attention to. For example, I want to give the character here a color that sticks out in the end, but also creates a good contrast compared to the background here. So, because I want to have this one here, this area here should be really bright, and the light is supposed to come from there, like out of this hole in this weird golden stony wheel thing. And yeah, I have to, at the same time, I have to can't make her too dark, because the wheel here and the machinery is supposed to be a bit darker, so the focus stays on her. But also she can't like have the same bright colors than the background, because like the background, because that doesn't make it stick out enough. So we'll see how that works. These all are little construction sites, so I see the whole drawing like as a construction site where I add colors here and there and see how it fits together, and then I see, okay, this is not a good fit for these colors, and then I go back and it's easier if you have a clear background, clear foreground, and a simple palette that you can work from, but we will see. So, how has you guys this week been so far? Hope you had a good time. Mine has been busy, but I was able to really fix a couple of to-dos, or kind of to flick some to-dos off my to-do list this week. Some small stuff that annoyed me a little bit because I procrastinated them away. Not really procrastinated, because I did other work, so I procrastinated. Is it there a term for you have several jobs and one you should just do, but you don't do it because you do other jobs first, because you like to work on these better? Kind of yeah, maybe just the wrong focus. Yeah, but I was able to do some stuff, and also put the single DOS prints in the shop, and there's a small number of small prints left. The other ones are sold out now, so I'm really glad that my room here is like, if I look to the right, a couple of days ago there were like packaging materials flying around, boxes and all this shit I don't want to have in my office usually, but so that's kind of I love printing and shipping stuff. It always feels great to kind of get physical products out to people who love my work, but it's the situation in my office is annoying all the time. So I can always only do this kind of, I don't know, a couple of times a year or so, because if this was the constant situation in here, I would completely go mental, I think. Professeur, le professeur is here. Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon. Sophie is also here. Hello, Sophie. I hope you can enjoy my company and get some work done. Steffi. Hello, hello. Vacationing, that's nice. Are you just at home, or any plans to, or have you been away, or any plans to go somewhere, or is it just for staying at home and relaxing? Yeah, Matthew, yours, I sent yours out, I think on Wednesday or so. So yeah, it's always a little gamble how long prints take to the US. Sometimes it's really fast. So I had a couple of packages that went through like, I think like in a week sometimes even, and some really take, I had some that took like 6 to 8 weeks, and we were already like wondering if it was lost, and then it turned up like after 8 weeks. So it's very different. But yours is still in Germany actually, but it is in the export package facility. So it went through customs, I guess, and should be on a plane soon. It's great. Oh, also coloring, Sophie. Nice. Is it something personal or commission, or what's on your list? Nice, Steffi. Yeah, I want to do something similar very soon. So my to-do list really is looking as good as it hasn't looked since really several months now, because this is I mean, this is a commission slash personal work, because it is some kind of not direct commission, but kind of I'm part of an artist drop here with many other artists, and everyone is contributing their work, being sold as a tarot deck, and so it is a bit of both, but I can pretty much do what I want here. So I wouldn't call it a classic commission. And then this is kind of really the last piece, or the last project on my to-do list, before I can turn to making curious cabins again, and making shroom heads again. And then I want to relax a bit as well for next week's, but also just at home. I don't know, making regular, going to the gym more regularly again, playing some games that are still on hold, like continuing to play Elden Ring, for example, and things like that. And yeah, just hanging here. I hope the weather will be, I mean, we all need rain very desperately, so it would be really good if it rained a little bit, but still I hope for some more nice days, so I can probably go to the lake for a day or two. So there's a really nice lake here. You have to go by car, so it's not, can't really ride there by bike, but it's super nice to stay there the whole day, and it's a very nice spot. And there'll be a little festival here, an electronical festival I'm going to be, and such nice things. Animating tentacles. Well, that's the ones from your the ones from the piece I was giving you feedback for. I imagine I never animated tentacles, but I imagine that it's not so easy. I'm going to record the critique session most likely on Sunday, by the way. So if you can let me know what you want to have for the critique until then. It's okay to just send it to me on Sunday if you need a bit of more time, but just to let you know. Nice. Oh, you're changing jobs, Sophie? Oh, sorry, I misread that. You're preparing for an upcoming job end of September. Okay. I read that you were... somehow read that the job was ending in September, that you were preparing for the time after. Yeah, I got a haircut. My hair is short. It was about time to get it short again. My wife also asked me if I would probably do that because she likes them better short, and I mean, she's the one who has to look at me every day, so I thought like, okay, come on. But yeah, I felt also that like I was a bit annoyed by the hair. Wasn't the first time I had it that long. I even had it much longer some years ago, but yeah. But I don't know. Somehow it annoyed me more than back then. Yeah, the tarot thing is very, very exciting for me because I always wanted to work on a tarot deck, but I mean, it's so many cards and I just didn't have the time for that. And when Kolectiv asked me if I wanted to apply for a spot and possibly make 2 cards, I was very happy because I think it's a good compromise. Not having time for a whole deck, but being able to make 2 cards is great as well. So, yeah, I liked the overall direction very much. So there's not even so much I would change right now. I'm just not sure if I want to have this inner circle that dark, because I mean it's a big part of the image, and I don't want to get it too heavy in this area, like to pull down the whole thing a bit too much, possibly, but I'm not sure. I'm going to try for now and see where it goes. Yeah, if everyone loves this illustration in the end, and the other one with the tower, maybe I feel motivated enough to make a whole deck at some point. I see that illustrated tarot decks sometimes are really, or often are really popular on Kickstarter, for example. So I mean, it's a nice idea to make a Kickstarter project out of it. So, something I haven't decided on is the color of the leaves, by the way. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's something fun, of course. I'm not a tarot expert, but I read a couple of things about the cards and what the meaning was, and there is, of course, a lot of room for interpretation, so you can very much decide how close you want to stay to the classic cards and how much you want to include yeah, with own ideas and how you want to interpret the meaning of the cards. With this Wheel of Fortune, for example, there's in the classic cards, there's characters here in the corners. So that's animal characters, I think, in all four corners. And then there is, I think, I'm not sure right now, there is how many characters are on the wheel directly, but there's also often some kind of devilish character kind of carrying the whole wheel on the shoulders and stuff like that. And how I interpreted the story behind the card is that this Wheel of Fortune is kind of a wheel that is powered by kind of fate and by waves and circles of life, and that there's one character here on top of the circle, like looking into a bright future, and another one kind of clinging to it, almost falling down, who's at the lower part and right now not having such a good time, obviously. And that it spins and kind of brings this guy here on top at some points of life, and this this character here on the lower part. And these moons, for example, the moon cycle here that is not usually in there, I just thought that it would be a nice idea because of this circle thing, like never-ending circle. I wanted to include this kind of moon cycle. Also, moon symbols always look kind of cool. And the snake here is, I'm not sure exactly. The snake is in the original, on some of the original card illustrations, and I'm not exactly sure what this one could mean. I have to come up with a meaning, but I just found that without the snake it looked a little bit empty here in the corners, as this is kind of, this whole illustration is so much kind of full of details. I wanted to add something there, and to be honest, I just like how snakes look. I find them very cool, so I I decided to go with that and just add it just for fun. But I'm sure it can have a special meaning as well. Mr. Fahrenheit, hello. How's it going? Yeah, I will have a look at the book Alejandro Jodorowsky. That's an interesting name. Or Alejandro. I will have a look. Oh, it's the Dune guy. Actually, I mean, I know this guy, of course, but I wasn't aware of the name, actually. Funny. So he wrote a book about tarot. Oh, okay, that guy. Well, yeah, I heard a lot about him, but I kind of didn't. The name didn't ring a bell. Well, that's an interesting character then. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like I'm always behind these things like these guys, like studying these guys' work. I always feel like I could draw so much more for my work by studying them. So thanks for the tip. Definitely good thing to keep an eye on. So the leaves. Let's get back to quickly a practical question here, because I think the leaves could be either in this orange, yellowish color to push the warm side of the color contrast I have in here, or there could be blue and push the cold side. Usually, I think it's always more interesting if there's more of the cold colors and less of the warm colors, if you want to go with a strong cold warm contrast, because the warmer part has a much higher impact then, and is really kind of draws the attention to where you want it, if you're managing to control the attention through colors. And in this case, I'm not sure. In this case, I'm not sure. This gets too wild. Always worth trying a purple option. But this is not working so well. So I think these orange leaves look better, even though they may not do their job as I want them to do. Well, let's keep it like that for now, and I can change it later if I think it's not working out. Quick question. Filling the leaves. Yeah, that's the reference layer option in Procreate, which is very, very helpful. So you can, I have an outline layer here. See, this is the layer with the lines, and not all of them actually, because I want to separate some things later, like the clouds and the background here in the middle. And you can choose a reference here in Procreate. This is also possible in Clip Studio. In Photoshop, I think there is no option. Other software, I don't know. That's the ones I know from my own practice. And you just quickly pick the reference layer, and it behaves as if, you can see this, very good. Behaves as if there was outlines, but there isn't, which is amazing. Huge help for filling clean outlined shapes. Saves a lot of time. It doesn't work so good with all brushes, so I have a couple of brushes. This is the Marty McFly brush from my brush pack, and you see it has rather clean outlines, but if you, for example, take the Randy Marsh, you see that it has a bit of texture here in these areas, and these don't feel so good, but with a clean outline, with a clean outline brush, it's really nice to have it. Kind of ridiculous that Photoshop doesn't have this option, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure if there's a workaround, but I don't think so. Oops. Yeah, sure. Happy to answer any questions anytime. Yeah, it is a game changer, right? Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, that's a common question for sure, because it's you don't really instantly see how it works and what the magic is there. Some people even say that it is cheating. I don't know. I think it's great. So the plan is to finish one side of the big wheel here first and see how it looks like, so I can make possible changes afterwards. Before I go over to the other side and waste my time if I wanted to do changes. Yeah, it's totally... In Clip Studio, there's even more options for setting up references. So, for example, you can combine multiple layers to reference layer. So it pays attention to different, and not only the outline layer, for example. So it's all kind of... I think Clip Studio probably has all the functions that Procreate has, just in a more... with more options and with deeper possibilities of like deeper adjustments. But Procreate is still great on the iPad because it's so intuitive and easy to use, and not so full of the of kind of boxes and knobs and checkboxes than compared to Clip Studio. Yeah, I have some on Patreon, and this one here will be on Patreon as well. So I'm sometimes posting layered PSD files, for example, to Patreon, and sometimes just outline files. And yeah, I think I'm going to make a pack of these soon as well and sell them on Gumroad. They will always be free for patrons though, so let me just quickly... Here's a link to my Patreon, so if you want to have a look. And there's a couple of different ones, but if you miss some and want to have a certain artwork as outlines, just ask me and I see if I can make it available, because some I don't share because it's client work. For example, for this one here, it's not a problem because it's a commission, but still personal illustration I can do what I want with. So yeah, I will upload this one together with the other tarot card I'm just doing. But this one, the other one is, I can show you. The other one looks like this one here. Oh, this is a good example because I made this one here in Midjourney and took it as a reference for the tower. And I want to do a Midjourney stream as well soon. This is a good reminder for me, because I want to show you how you can include AI-generated images into your process. As you see here, I took lots of inspiration from my Midjourney experiments. So yeah, this one is the second tarot card I'm doing, but it's mostly just scribble and some outlines so far. So much work to do left. Yeah, sure, check it out. It's so you get the files you get with the standard tier, and then I have a golden tier, like a premium tier, and you get discounts on my brushes for that, and you get also a monthly art critique. So I am looking at my premium tier patrons' work and do a short video where I give specific feedback and advice at what you could do better, and every kind of advice around like your art career as well, everything that you may need. So yeah, have a look. So that's every month, by the way. So every month I'm doing this video critique thing. And, you can also watch old critiques on my YouTube if you want to see what it looks like and what how hard I roast the guys' work. Stable diffusion. Yeah, I heard about it, but didn't look into it and didn't look into what it's able to do. So far, I only used Midjourney and a little bit of Dolly, but also really not very thoroughly. Just had a quick look. But Midjourney is great. It's fun to use and very inspiring, in my opinion. Yeah, nice. Feel free to share some results. Maybe we should make a AI channel on Discord where everyone can share their results. Because I think it's good to separate it from the regular showroom, or what's it called, showroom. Because I mean I saw it on some Reddit subs where people posted Midjourney results into art focused subs, and people were complaining about this. I mean the overall there's an overall kind of negative opinion about AI generated images that is, to be honest, a little bit stupid sometimes. But I also would agree that it shouldn't always be posted in art focused channels, because it's a difference if you create digital art by drawing something, making something in 3D or whatever, and just generate it out of a prompt. It's an interesting topic though, because what is with coding, like processing and stuff like that. So it's really difficult to draw a line, but I find this very fascinating and very inspiring to have a discussion about that, while others are more like negative and hateful. So yeah. Oh yeah, I have a private channel for the Discord. So I when you subscribe, you can DM the bot directly. So yeah, the Discord channels is a mess. It's no fun to use. But if you just DM the bot directly, it's a whole other experience. I can't decide if I want to have these dark and golden letters or vice versa. Or these are bright. And the moons are dark. Yeah, maybe. So I think I can use a tiny bit of grading. Just a tiny bit to make it look more yeah, to align the colors a little bit more to each others, but really not too heavily. Can you see the difference? Yeah. So overall a little bit more red to each of the colors, but not much. Maybe we can do the Midjourney AI stream next week as a draw and drink. I'm not sure if I think the weekend is occupied, so maybe not on Friday, but probably on Wednesday. It depends a bit on how this one goes, but I have these. The deadline for this is next Friday. So depends on how much stress these make me for meeting the deadline next week, but yeah, I want to keep it in mind. think it would be quite nice to just generate some images, and maybe we will have some people in there who are a bit, who have a negative opinion about the whole thing, which I can totally understand, by the way. But maybe we can show that this can all be very inspiring and deliver new ideas to your workflow, apart from the fact that, love it or not, it is here to stay. Jo, Johannes. Wie geht's? Ich habe gestern noch an dich gedacht. Ich weiß aber gerade nicht warum. So what's how does stable work? Is it also prompt based, or can you input any visual, give it any visual input? Jo, alles bestens. Gerade auf jeden Fall ein bisschen am Ende meiner To-Do-Liste ungefähr angekommen. Beziehungsweise das hier ist das letzte auf der Liste. Zumindest was Jobs, Aufträge, was auch immer angeht. Dementsprechend finde ich mal wieder ein bisschen, hoffentlich demnächst Zeit für Zocken, Chillen, was auch immer. Ich glaube, ich habe, ich melde mich auf jeden Fall mal. Ich habe mich gestern, glaube ich, habe den Werbepause-Podcast in meiner Podcast-Liste gesehen. Deswegen habe ich an dich gedacht und ich habe mir sofort gedacht, fuck, ich muss mich mal wieder melden. Your video card is not supported. What's that? Yeah, well, writing own scripts is really something that I guess brings it to the next level for everyone's workflow. So I'm a bit intimidated by doing something like that because I kind of feel like it's a total rabbit hole, and it's I'm not good at these things where you have to write scripts or code anything or so. But I think it is definitely great for making it totally yours and getting absolutely the output that you need for your workflow. What video card do you have? Anything old? Oh, okay. Damn. Well, I could try it. I have NVIDIA. Man, these leaves are can be annoying. I mean, they are annoying to draw in the first place, but then you have to paint them. They come back. And then the last step is adding shades, which also will be a little bit annoying, I guess. But, well, details make the difference, so... Okay, so yeah, I'm quite happy with the overall palette. Would be very annoying if not, so I mean, you probably already thought that I would be would be satisfied with it, but sometimes it's palettes are just not really working out, but in this case I'm confident that it will look good in the end. Even though there's not so much purple in it, I mean, that's always... with every non-purple artwork I post, there's always these guys who come at me for not using purple enough. Of course not, I mean, it's only joking around, but it is cool. So it's kind of part of my personal branding by now that I use purple so much. And it is really nice that I am recognized by that. But yeah, I'm not one of those artists who only use the same color palette all the time. I know that some are really famous for certain palettes and really do not step away from these, which is nice. But it's a very individual thing, I guess. And I would go completely nuts if I would have to use the same palette each and every day. This girl looks a little bit like my wife, by the way. It's not on purpose, but it occurred to me after I made the outlines and that she looks a little bit like her. Thanks, Sirius. Glad you like it. Yeah, probably it's a subconscious reference I had there. That's absolutely possible. Kind of also works without the background here. So I think the concept would be absolutely fine if I just added like a bright sunlight, almost white color maybe even, in like in this circle here. But what I want to try is to add like something there, this tree, but hide it behind, like make it not fully visible, so the contrast is really working. And we'll see how that looks, but if it all doesn't work out, I can just leave it out and it's still okay, I guess. If it's too much detail, maybe... I mean, this is kind of the central area, and it would be conceptually, like, from a composition building standpoint, it does make sense to leave a room here, to leave the white space here, so the whole there is a certain ease coming in this central area, while here it's all busy, and then there's kind of, it's calming down. I'm going to try to achieve that and still show something in the middle. But first, let's head over to these wheels here. Yeah, that doesn't work. I just suddenly didn't like the color of these bars here anymore. So I need to quickly change these. Okay. And this one is too green. Yo, Tiago, thanks very much. Glad you like it. Yeah, I'm also very confident that it will look nice in the end. Gotta stay sharp and make some nice decisions on the shading. So I want to keep this. Actually, I want to use a similar shading technique as in my singing doors, because that was very much fun. And then secondly, it was also very popular, and everyone gave me very positive feedback about that. So, and I think it's a great match for something this detailed, which means not so much texture, not so much grain and details within the areas of color, but staying more calm within these surfaces here that I'm painting right now. And yeah, we'll see how it goes, but that's the idea right now. Did anyone of you guys watch Sandman on Netflix? Just finished with it, and I got very mixed feedback from friends and media online. Some loved it, some didn't like it at all, and my verdict is quite positive. And I was surprised to hear from some fantasy fans. I mean, I didn't. I think. I mean, it's a comic adaptation, so I guess it's for the people who read the comics. There's always reason to not like it, I guess, because I mean, it's as always with comic adaptations, it probably doesn't meet the expectations of the die-hard fans. But yeah, I liked it very much, and I was surprised that some fantasy fans I know didn't like it, because I don't see a reason not to like it. So yeah, my if you indecisive, if you want to watch it, it has my so you've got my recommendation. That sounded like someone's hit another car outside. That was a nice metal on metal sound, or plastic on metal, or whatever. Huh. But I hear no screams, I see no smoke. Seems to be all right. Tiago, you mean the make some noise textures? You can use them on any software you want. So these are multi-appable. These are image files. So, and there's like the possibility to just import them to any software you want. The brushes indeed are only for Procreate, Photoshop, and Clip Studio, or any other software that can import ABR files. The problem is I don't use anything else than Photoshop, Clip Studio, and Procreate myself, so it's not so easy to build the brushes in these programs, you know. But the make some noise brushes, the make some noise textures, you can just use in any software you want. It's that's easy. It's just really images you can, for example, let me check here. For example, you see there's this texture. It's just an image, and you just put it over your drawing. So this is the most simple one, the first one from the pack, and you just put it to soft light or overlay, and yeah, whatever intensity you want to have, and then should work in what are you using? Infinite Painter. I never heard of that before, actually. I know Affinity, but Infinite Painter I'm hearing for the first time. But yeah, I can check for you if you want, or you can check. So if you want to get them and it doesn't work, let me know, and I'll give you some advice there. But yeah, should be possible. But what I also will do is, or what I'm working on right now, actually, but I couldn't finish it so far, but hopefully soon, is making brushes that are based on these textures. So I have had some experiments I can show you as well. Here's my experiments experiments folder with brush. stuff, and you see here I have some noise brushes, but these will unfortunately only be able to use in Procreate, Photoshop, Clip Studio. But yeah, these are coming along well. There's a couple of ones that I really like so far. So yeah. Benny, hello. Und Nachmittag. Guten Nachmittag, yes. Yo, Babestar, how's it going, man? I'm making a tarot card illustration. This is for the Kolectiv project, which brings together a number of artists. I think 15 or 16 artists in this case. And everyone makes their own tarot designs, tarot illustrations, and they put it together to a deck that will be available as like you can buy NFT packs, and the artworks will, like the cards, will be in the packs. And you can, if you want, collect the whole Major Arcana set. And also, I will raffle actually one pack, maybe on Discord. I don't know, in maybe 3 or 4 weeks or so. So when they come out, I will raffle one pack where you can. I don't know if my illustrations will be in there, but maybe possible. Yeah, the dark parts is disappearing. That's I mean, I'm going to color the outlines later on as well, so this will be probably dark blue like this, and then the effect that they disappear will be even stronger. This is just a quick shot, but I kind of learned that. I don't know if any one of you guys was attending the workshop on Tuesday. Yeah, on Tuesday with Daisy, or was it Wednesday? No, Tuesday. I had on or Wednesday. My brain is a complete mess sometimes. So I had a workshop about art styles and how to find your art style, and I was explaining in the workshop that one of my major influences is Mike Mignola, who I studied very closely. So one of my pieces of advice I gave there was that you should study favorite artists very closely and see how what solutions they find for certain aspects of art. And Mike Mignola is, in my opinion, the master of using kind of a mixture of low-key illustration, negative space, and who kind of uses a lot of solid black colors or solid black fields in his illustrations, and somehow still manages to create a great contrast, or even, I mean, not somehow, but through that creates this contrast. And I just studied and looked at his work for such a long time, continuously. And I think that kind of taught me a little bit about how to deal with these dark elements, these low-key areas in an illustration, like here, like the wheels that are supposed to kind of blend into the background, that are kind of in the shadow. So that was my influence on this very kind of, yeah, on this detailed aspect of my art, I guess. Penny, yeah, making brushes in Procreate can be tricky, that's right. It's not so easy to understand, so it's not an intuitive process. I'm going to overpaint my palette here. This means I'm going to stick with the spell. It always feels wrong, but here we go. I could save it, of course, but it doesn't. I don't need to. yeah, making brushes can be weird, and the process is a bit non-intuitive actually, because all the settings you have here are not explaining themselves very much, and but I found it very nice and very fun to play around with that and to just draw some kind of put some drawers to the left and right and see how it changed the brush's appearance. And then after a while you can really turn these brushes into your tools, which is great. So all my brushes I sell are always, the brushes are really made for me and for my personal needs, which is really nice. Yeah, I was mentioning that putting some moons in some illustrations is always a good idea. Yeah, great, Thiago. Appreciate that. And yeah, if you need any kind of advice, or if you have any questions about using my products, just reach out anytime. It's I always appreciate the support through buying my products, so I'm happy to help. It's called Weekend Brain. Yeah, it's not yet the weekend, but very, we're getting very close. Oh yeah, Miyazaki is great. It's Miyazaki is definitely inspiring as hell. And the kind of mood he adds to his illustrations, this vibe they have, I don't know, it's that's really, I don't like the word talent, so I always, whenever someone calls me talented, I know how it's meant, but or what it's meant like, but I'm always like, yeah, talent, but it's all based on hard work, and I don't know, but in his case I would really call it talent, because I think it is a fantastic ability that he has, how he creates this vibe in the illustrations, and it's also a very unique skill that he has there. Yeah, the soul, exactly. That's something special for sure. So this poor guy here needs some colors as well, even though he's on the low side of life right now. He deserves some colored rugs. Oh yeah. He sometimes it sometimes looks like he's a very sad person, right? Yeah, that's right. I don't know, very melancholic, and yeah, melancholic slash turning into a little depressive kind of mood there, I guess. That's right. Yeah, old school Japanese.
Oh, you're a real fan. You really. That sounds great. Like getting in the right painting mood by with the right dressing. That's amazing. I love that. Babe, so you're going to the second year of illustration design, and you're dealing with self-doubt. Yeah, I think it's unfortunately for 99% of creative people, and especially people who work in the field of illustration and arts, it's a common thing to experience. And there's probably not the advice to give on to give to this, because everyone has their own strategies to get out of this mood. But there we come probably to the best advice I can give, is that it's very helpful, or for me it was always very helpful to develop strategies that help me to stay positive, or to keep a positive attitude towards my own work, which is take a step aside and kind of try to watch at your own achievements from like a bird's eye or bird's view, kind of to see like what you have achieved, what progress you made. This also includes not comparing yourself too much to great artists you may follow, because watching or looking at their work is always important, but not comparing, because it can be frustrating, and instead like really looking at your own progress. And if you're in your second year, this is I don't know what you have done before, so if you have any experience, made any experience before studying, apart from, of course, like everyone is, of course, has been drawing, has been making art, but focused experience, like a trainee position somewhere, or time at another school or something like that. So if you don't have any of this experience, you're quite early still. I mean, in being in year 2 means you're really still very much of a beginner, and it's important to not go too hard on yourself there. So don't expect too much progress in only a couple of months, because that's unfortunately we are working in a profession that takes quite a lot of time to develop, especially your artistic voice and your visual language you want to develop. This is all stuff that takes really long time. You did 4 years of graphic design, so you're not such a super newbie then, because you're familiar with the visual crafts, and you should be you should have nice skills in composition and in telling stories in a visual way and stuff like that. So yeah, and I think it's really an up and down. So what helps me, for example, one of my strategies is, if possible, taking a break and going into this break with the absolute trust and knowledge into these waves of ups and downs, and to know that there will be a time coming soon where I will be motivated and happy about my achievements and my own work again. So if that's possible, I know that's not always possible because you have deadlines, you have classes you have to work for. I mean, especially in uni, you have deadlines that are very close together. So I remember my time, it's sometimes you have to show something each week, but still I think you can allow yourself to take a little break and to not work extremely hard each week, and you're not going to lose kind of touch to the class progress and stuff like that. But that depends on the school, to be honest. I know some guys who are studying in other countries, and I know that, for example, in France, they have it's more strict when it comes to your progress in the classes. So yeah. Draw and drink. I think I want to do one next week, Thiago. So I hope on maybe on Wednesday, because I don't know if I have time on Friday. Wednesday or Friday. I'm going to decide next weekend, let you know, and then we will see. But yeah, something's coming up. Good point, Sirius. Yeah, that's right. AI machines can't feel frustrated. So yeah, that reminds me of a book that I recommend to a lot of people all the time, which is Vincent by Joey Goebel. If you haven't read it, please do, because it's amazing. I read it in the chat. It is kind of based around the myth or the story that artists and creative people, in this case it's the music industry, but it applies to all creative people, that they have to be sad and frustrated and lonely to be successful. But the book deals with this topic in a very humorous, also a little bit dramatic, but also humorous way. And yeah, it's a great recommendation, I think. Oh, thanks, Endorphins. Thanks for that feedback on my haircut. Yeah, I'm also quite happy with it. So it's great to grab your hair, and you don't have like this. I have very thick and very strong kind of hair, and so running around without this big mop on my head is kind of a nice change again. So I like the long style, but this is way more practical and easy. Yo, Jacques, hello. Nice to see you, man. Hope you have a good day. Yeah, thanks for the haircut feedback. Thiago, my favorite beer, Spaten is good. I like Spaten. I don't have a absolute favorite. It changes all the time, but one of my favorites is, for example, Riegele from Augsburg. So they are a fantastic brewery. They have lots of selection of craft beers, and they also have a couple of standards. For example, Kommerzienrat Riegele, which is amazing. It has a weird name. And also their Pilsner is very great. It's called Herrenpils, which means kind of gentleman's Pilsner. This is what they're written like, Riegele. Fantastic brewery. So that's one of my favorites. Kind of standard breweries who do not only make craft beers, because sometimes you just need a regular beer that doesn't cost like I don't know, €6 a can. And I just have
have a crate here, which is great. I may have one of these later on. I have a mixed crate, like half Kommerzienrat and half Helles, which is Lagerbier, Bavarian Lagerbier. Yeah, emotions is what we do, that's right. It's definitely the thing that AI will never be able to emulate, even though some people have different opinions, but this is obvious to me that AI won't ever be able to have emotions. It may think that it has, but it doesn't. And for that topic, by the way, Detroit Become Human is a fantastic game, because that kind of shakes up your mindset about AI a little bit. It's a fantastic game in my opinion. And yeah, it's what AI can do, and this is a great achievement already, of course, is it can create visuals that create an emotion in you as the consumer. So I think when you build AI images with Midjourney or DALL-E or whatever, you often have results that create an emotion with you, but there's no one telling that story behind this image then, of course. And if you plainly look at it and just consume it, it may be fine, but yeah, there's no backstory. There's no kind of storytelling underneath it, and that's the big difference. One of the big differences. There's a couple of other differences and advantages we have as humans as well, of course, but that's one of these. But it can still like be fantastic to spark ideas in you, because it can create emotions. So if you, as the user, create an image with an AI image generator, I think you can get inspired by it very much to create new stories and to fill it up with emotions by using it for your work, and that's the great thing. Yeah, exactly. The emotion, the emotion isn't in the image. It's it is developed within us when we watch or when we look at the image. So that's right. The emotion. We are the ones who create the emotion. And the funny thing is that you can take the same image, show it to different people, and everyone will have a different kind of emotion building up in themselves. Which is the same, of course, with every piece of visual or audio fragment or artifact that is existing, but also with AI generated stuff, of course. Babe say, yeah, sure, the social media trap is real. What I usually like to do is not getting away from socials completely, because I still like to get inspiration from social media, but not probably use it with caution. So not just scrolling Instagram blindly and like scrolling all the other artists' work and thinking like, well, it's so great, I'm so bad, oh, this is so beautiful, my stuff is ugly, oh, this is fantastic, and I'm crap. But consuming in a different way, or for example, certain platforms like Instagram or so, I wouldn't probably use as a user in terms of posting stuff, but for a certain while only, kind of to get inspiration, tell others, of course, that their work is great, which is important. Please don't just scroll, please also leave likes and shares and saves. Yeah, but without like using the app in terms of like that you post something and then you're sad about the feedback you get, and the good old problem of being frustrated about your social media reach and stuff like that. So that's probably better to avoid if you're in a situation of not liking your work, or if you're feeling frustrated. But yeah, you can. The thing I can tell you is, I know a lot of artists. Some are beginners, some are in the middle of finding their place in the industry, some are total veterans, and even kind of absolute superstars in their league. And what I can tell you is, and what helps me sometimes to realize, is every single one of them has these days and weeks where they are not very happy with their work and with their progress, with feedback, whatever. Kind of not liking their style, thinking about pivoting into something else. I can guarantee you that if you list, I don't know, 10 artists that you admire and that you think are kind of perfect in what they do, I can guarantee you that a huge number of these will struggle sometimes with what you're struggling with. Of course, on another level, because they're probably a couple of years more in the game, and when you break down the problem, it's still the same. And this helps me personally sometimes to kind of find my spot in this body of problem that we have sometimes, because it is probably even, maybe it's even something good, because your brain tells you to take a step back and rearrange a couple of things, rethink some things, and maybe it's even something that you can make use of, because you can think of new ideas, new approaches to your work, and it only feels shit because you're feeling frustrated, but in the end something productive and something good comes out of it. So for example, that's how I sometimes recognize this when I'm out of this valley and like on top of my shit again. I sometimes realize, okay, this hasn't been bad at all, that I had to take this break and take a step back. Yeah, but everyone's different. Just don't be too much depressed about this, and I hope that you will you find your mojo again. I'm pretty sure you will. So it's very likely that you will. Yes, it's the Wheel of Fortune, or the Fortune Wheel, or I think in German it's called the Rad des Schicksals. I'm not wrong. That's it. Serious, yeah, I almost missed your comment there. It's a very, very correct and very good addition, that there's no dialogue between the artist's emotion and the consumer. That's completely right. And there's also no information about the artist's backstory or back thoughts, because whatever we do, if we make a movie, if we yeah, the Wheel of Fortune, please. So if we do a movie, make music, create an image, an illustration, we always have to kind of give it to the consumer without being able to, in the most cases, without being able to tell them any kind of backstory. And this is, for example, this is one of the main mistakes people who apply for art school make. They make a portfolio, or they sometimes get this task that they have to solve, like an artistical
task to create something. And one of the biggest mistakes many of these people make is that they create something that needs explanation. And then they're like, for example, here at Münster School of Design, where I applied and where I also took part in some selection processes where we selected new students. We had like first portfolio day, and then like not portfolio day, the one where you hand your work and people look it through and invite you to a personal interview. And in the interview, they start to explain their pieces, and it's too late. I mean, the grade for the works has been given the day before. And yeah, that's long story short. This is what you're saying there. There's no chance to. Neither AI nor humans can explain what they did there. It's just the emotions come up in the recipient and the consumer, and you have no influence apart from the thing that they consume. And it's really interesting. Yeah, this is probably why AI generated art is so popular, because it can create these emotions even though there is no human behind it, right? Because the artificial intelligence knows how to create compositions that are striking, that are looking impressive, that can look kind of intimidating or cool, or that have nice colors. So yeah, that's an interesting topic. There will be many discussions about this, and I find this very, very interesting and very intriguing to follow up on what will happen there in the next years. Yeah, if you had trending on ArtStation, that's right. Yeah, that's the key to make it look striking, right? What also looks striking to me is that I will have a break now because I need to have some caffeine, and yeah, it's a little pause. But I am very happy with my progress today, and I like the color palette that developed out of this in the 2 hours I've been streaming now. I hope you like it too. And we will see maybe next week, probably if there's some time, I will continue on this, or the tarot card. If we get bored by the mid-journey explorations, but we will see. Yeah, Penny, that's a lovely mindset, like end boss, or level up boss. That's great. Yeah, and I think you can very much see it like that. I very, very much want to make a little YouTube video about art block and how to avoid it, or how to pull yourself out of one. Yeah, we'll do that sometime soon. And if you know me, soon means in the next 12 to 15 months. Too many ideas, too little time. I always want to make also a video about Instagram and about yeah, I don't know, some more speed painting. I'm thinking about rebuilding my camera, so I have the top-down shot on my desk, so I can film my my hand and my iPad and everything to make it like a speed painting. And I don't know, I have so many ideas. But yeah, you will see it when it comes out. All right, friends. Hope you enjoyed the stream. It was a fantastic chat. In the last streams we had such beautiful topics to talk about. I mean, not always positive, like something like art block or motivational stuff, but I find it still great to talk about it, because it's important, and it's happening in everyone's reality. So I think it's something great to discuss. So thanks very much to everyone who chatted with me today and who watched. And I will be back most likely next week. So 90% sure next week. I hope I can make it, but I think I can. Have a nice weekend, friends. Oh, there will be no art update on Patreon today. If you're waiting for one, because I will, there's not so much updates that I can talk about this week. But yeah, new posts coming next week. So have a nice weekend. See you soon. Thank you guys. Bye bye.